Welcome to the Regal Eagle Report. I'm Lasia.
I'm Ameshi, and we are your co-hosts.
We are Team 2869, a diverse and inclusive team located at Bethpage High School.
We are aiming for our podcast to be an outlet to interact with other teams and collaborate on varied ideas and thoughts.
We are so excited to introduce a brand new series where we will be interviewing one team from each state.
Embark on our journey as we'll be aiming to hit every state, reaching our goal of 50.
For this week's episode, we'll be interviewing Oakton Cougar Robotics from Virginia.
So please introduce yourselves as well as your position on the team. We'll start first. Hi, I'm Ameshi. I'm a senior and I'm the head of electrical.
I'm Latia, and I'm the podcast manager, and I help with operations.
Hi, I'm Benja. I'm a junior, and I'm the head of programming.
Hi, I'm Mason. I'm a senior, and I'm on the build team.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm part of the business team as the business captain.
Okay, our first question is, where's your team? What's your team's origin? Sorry.
Team's origin?
Or
I
how
think
was
it
your
just-
team founded?
I think it's just so the school. It's just a club at the school. I'm not sure exactly when it was founded, but it's just a club anyone can join. I guess it holds both an FTC and an FRC team, and I believe we've been competing for the past at least like 7 years. I think 8 years. I'm not sure.
Oh, we're
Someone
way
else
back
know?
from that. We've been going for
Yeah,
at least
like
a
at
decade
least
now.
that. Yeah.
So we started in 2001, as you can find on our website, by Mr. Scala. And over the past 2 decades, we've been able to compete in both FTC and FRC.
Are you guys part of both teams, or only one?
I think
So-
the way.
go ahead.
Sorry. Actually, I'll speak. So normally how it works is when you join the team, you'll interview and you can get a spot on FTC, and then after the FTC season ends, you can either decide to stay on FTC for the next season, or you can interview again for a spot on FRC. And normally I think people on FRC stay on FRC and aren't on both teams. I think it's just one. For the most part.
Is there any story behind you guys' team's name?
It's just
It's just
Cougars.
like our mascot for our school. We rock the Oakton Cougar, which is the same cougar that's used throughout the entire school for all sports and clubs. And so we just want to stay on brand with that for our robotics team.
How many years were each of you part of FRC or even the first program?
I was on FTC for one season, 2023, and same with FRC. So I joined Cougar Robotics, I guess the club, last year. And so I participated in both the FTC and FRC season.
I joined 2 years ago on FTC, did my first year on FTC, got moved up to FRC in the same year. And so this is starting my third year on FRC.
So I have been in robotics for 2 years, but I've been involved with the team for a few years now, just because of relationships with both mentors and alumni.
So where's your guys' school located? Are you guys more urban or rural, and how big is your school district?
So we are currently located in FCPS, and although the county that we're in is Vienna, we're in Oakton as well, which is in Virginia. Our school consists about over 2,000 students, maybe closer to 3,000, and our district is, I believe, one of the largest in our state and possibly in all of the US.
Yeah, we have a very dense area, which is really nice for getting competition as well as just getting insights from people. Our school system has a lot of schools that are all really close since we're in a very dense populated area. And so there's a lot of just robotics talk amongst different schools, and it's a great place to just share first values.
Yeah, we have something very similar. Like we have a lot of teams around us. Like a lot of the teams we interviewed before, they're all like in the West, so they didn't really have as many teams as we have here in the West. Yeah. Okay. Our next question is, how has your team like helped increase membership from underclassmen?
So we've done some recruiting in the past where we will reach out to freshmen who have just come to Oakton and attempt to get them interested in robotics. We get them interested in the engineering classes that we offer, and that usually leads down a pipeline where we can then get people onto the team.
I think there's I'm not sure what the like official name is. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of like activities fair that's hosted every year around like April, May, where all of the 8th graders from the nearby middle schools come into the gym and they look at all the different clubs and clubs to advertise. And I know we've participated in that a few times. And we also have what's called Cougar Kickoff at the beginning of each year, where all the clubs have their booths, just like the activities fair thing. And it's the same sort of, we just advertise, kind of encourage people to join. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Do you guys allow members from other schools, or is it only your school, like your high school?
So because our team is so large, including both our FTC teams and our FRC we try to mostly have students from our school so that we can give them more of an opportunity. And since we also sometimes partner with other clubs and also other robotics teams, they also allow other students in their teams. So we feel that it would be better to only remain to our school just for now.
Approximately like how many members are in your team?
I think there's around, on FRC, there's what, like 14, 15? I think. And then FTC has 2 teams, which
Each
both
with
have around
20 people. So we're probably including business around, I would say, 60, 70 people.
Yeah.
And how do you guys gather sponsors for all of your teams? Do you guys have the same like initiatives for all like FTC and FRC, or do you guys do different things?
So we use all of the money to go to all 3 of the teams, and although our sponsors are mainly with mentors and also with connections through students and their parents, we also try reaching out to local nonprofits such as the Vienna Optimist Club, where we've held a few outreach events there, and also with a few of our main sponsors. Those are the ones that we have from mentors and through connections.
Do you want to name any of your sponsors?
So we have Lockheed Martin, the Oakton High School PCSA, also Alarm.com. There are a few more, and also, as we mentioned before, the Vienna Optimist Club.
Do you guys receive a lot of funding like through your school or like through sponsors?
Mostly through our school. Our sponsors. Our PTSA is supposed to give us a portion of the money, but because we have so many clubs, sometimes it's difficult for them to evenly distribute the money.
You can answer this one,
Oh, sorry. And aside from sponsors, what are some fundraising initiatives that you guys have taken?
So this year we've had 3 main fundraisers, and this is mainly for not the purpose of raising money, but more for team bonding between all of our teams so that people can collaborate more often. So we had one at Chipotle, and also we had Mod Pizza, and I believe there's one at TDM, which are all local. They're close to our school, so this is easy for people to travel and also meet different members of their team.
Okay, the now coming more like to your robot, how has your robot evolved like over the years?
I've been on the team the longest, so I'll take this one. We've had a lot of turnover in the team in terms of people leaving. Because we usually funnel first through FTC, plus we came right off of COVID. We've had a lot of kids who have just gone in for 1 or 2 years, and then obviously after you're done with your senior year, you have to leave. So there's been a lot of turnover, which has actually made it really interesting, as every time we get a new set of people on, the ideas for how we want to build the bot are always very unique and different. But we take a lot of inspiration from our mentors, because they've been doing this for such a long time. They usually know the right direction of what types of robots will work. So where we get the full design phase, things like the base of our bot have been pretty standard throughout the years. We usually stick to the stuff that our mentors know, and then we add our own flair onto it. So things like our sponsor board has changed a lot throughout the years. It used to be we just kind of stick it on the side of the bot, but in the last few years, we've actually integrated it into the design a bit, making it more artistic. And then every single person, especially on the build side, usually picks a certain portion of the bot they really want to work on. And you can really see the individuality come out of the individuals working on the certain sections, just down to how it's designed to how it's ultimately executed.
What's your part on the robot?
This year, I've actually not taken a hands-on approach with the robot. I've been working more on the field elements. I'm actually going to drive this year. This is my first time driving. So I'm going to be working more closely with a bit of the design and then the driving. So I will be talking with programming later once we actually have a bot to program. And so I'm just working on getting all the field elements put together. But in years past, I've mainly been focused on the climb. The climb has always been the thing that, or I guess the locomotion element, because it wasn't a climb last year. But my first year, I did the arms. That was basically a completely me thing. The one person I was partnered with to work on it got busy, so I took full reins of that situation, and with a little bit of help from the mentors. But the climb 2 years ago was my baby, and so I was happy that in every single one of our competitions we were always able to place first for most points from climb.
And along with like evolving, have you guys been using like new parts over the years? Anything like Swerve Drive, anything else?
Yeah, so we made the plunge into Swerve last year, after just going to districts the year previously and then the Worlds, and everyone was using Swerve. Everyone was telling us you gotta use Swerve, because we were using Mechanim, and our driver liked Mechanim, and one of our mentors was very against Swerve because he knew it would be a huge learning process, because it's all about having to implement the new system, and then you have to program everything for the new system, and then you have to design the base differently in order to fit it. And so there was a big fear switching over to Swerve about what that would entail, because it was brand new for not just the students but also the mentors. So that was like a huge summer off-season project, was making a switch that big. Of course, everything on the bot changes every year to fit the game, but the base usually stays relatively the same. This year, we're actually switching it up one more time. We decided not to opt for, we have a special design base where we take balsa wood and then 2 sheets of aluminum, and we compress those together to make a super light but also really sturdy base. And we haven't been able to implement that this year because we've been kind of short on time with the way things have been going, and we ultimately just opted for a simpler base because we're not going to be getting into any situations where we're going to need reinforcement with what we think is going to be a mainly easy to maneuver game this year, with no wires running across the floor and other stuff like that.
So getting back to like outreach, does your team mentor or have any like affiliations with FLL teams as well?
So for FLL, we don't necessarily have any connections to them, since many of our students are just starting off with being a freshman or sophomore getting into robotics. We don't really have personal connections to that. So although we have been trying to reach out to more FLL teams, we don't necessarily have a mentorship process with them, with younger students. But we have volunteered at a few FLL events, and also we've judged at a few of them too.
Like adding on to that, do like members from your FRC team who are part of your FTC team mentor the FTC team or no?
Yeah, yeah. Normally, when you move up to FRC, during I guess the next year, during that FTC season in the winter, a lot of FRC students will come down to FTC and help out, with whatever people are stuck on. And it's actually very nice because it gives those younger kids, a taste of like what sort of like knowledge you could gain from moving up to FRC. And I think it's very interesting. And I enjoyed having like a lot of, especially because they were like seniors, most of them, they would come down, talk to us about stuff and kind of help us with a bunch of problems we were having. And it was a big sort of motivation, at least for me also, to like join FRC because I was like, wow, they know so much. That's very cool. And so, yeah, we do that.
What are some of your local and international outreach initiatives?
So as of the 2023 to 2024 season, we've reached out to 4 schools and organizations. So this would include both Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and also our high school, as well as Oakton Elementary, which is a nearby elementary school. So with this, we've educated over 350 students directly. So this would be through things like workshops and outreach events. And more globally, this would be with our weekly newsletter, which we call The Current. And we send this out to our sponsors and also family members and the team itself. We also have our website, Facebook, and Instagram. So with this, we've impacted 3,800 people virtually. So we would include this as global outreach. And we've also acted on feedback to improve our outreach events.
I have like an off-topic question. Can you guys talk more about like the interview process and picking people for FRC or FTC? If you guys know about that.
So the FTC interview process is similar to what you would see as maybe a traditional tryout for any more academic or intellectual club versus a sport, where we have the captains of the team as well as mentors who will come sit in on basically a panel that will ask a set of just basic questions about knowledge with engineering, knowledge with computer science, general like work knowledge about how resilient you are, projects you've worked on in the past, stuff of that nature. That's all in addition to an initial application that you fill out as a little form. And then based on that, the captains get full deciding factor on whether or not they want to bring people onto the team and whether or not they think that they would be a nice fit for Cougar Robotics. We try to be as inclusive as possible and get anyone on the team who really thinks that they can grow. So even if someone comes in without a lot of knowledge, we might not put them on the FRC team, of course, but we would love to get them on the FTC team. That way, if they want to put in the effort to learn, we can train them up a bit. And then the transition from FTC to FRC is actually a lot easier. It comes down to basically how much effort you're putting in on FTC and if they think it would be a good move for you to come up. They try and gauge interest. And so people who are interested can sign up to get interviewed for FRC as well. But FRC also does their own research into looking into people who would be a good fit to move up, even if they didn't express direct interest. FRC will still go and approach and ask if they would be interested in joining the FRC team and that they'd have a spot if they were.
So does your business team work for both FTC and FRC?
Yeah, we do. So we work alongside all 3 of the teams.
So for the 3 of you personally, what sparked your interest in robotics? And you guys can go like one by one sharing your experience.
I can start since I kind of talked about it a little earlier. Well, I take a few programming classes here at Oakton, and I really liked it, and I wanted to do more programming, and robotics was really interesting. I had a friend who was on robotics, and he was like, "It's really fun. You should join." I really just wanted to, I guess, see my like software and like what I created be like implemented on like a physical
Yeah.
bot. I just thought that was really cool, and that's kind of really what sparked my interest in joining robotics. Just being able to have that experience, and I'm really happy I did it. I think it's a really great sort of
It is.
opportunity, and a lot of preparation for like I don't know, like reading the docs, you know, and things like that. I don't know. It feels like it's a very good way to sort of like prepare yourself for like how I guess software jobs, I guess like in the computer science industry might like work in the future. I don't know. I think it's very cool.
Shit.
For me, I actually did 1 year of FLL, and I didn't like it all that much. I felt like I didn't have the ability to do what I wanted. My vision far outreached my actual skills, which was a little problematic. But my sister, who's 4 years older than me, so she's a full high school older than me, tried to actually join the robotics team at Oakton. But she wanted to join. It was either her junior year or senior year, and so she wanted to jump straight to FRC, and she just didn't make the qualifications. And so that's where I first heard about the Oakton Cougar FRC team, and I knew that robotics was something I was really interested in, as my parents have always pushed me to do engineering, and I'm a huge fan of that kind of stuff, as I've done it through extracurriculars beforehand. So going into Oakton, coming out of COVID, I really wanted to meet new people and do some of these clubs that I hadn't had access to do freshman year. And so robotics is the avenue I went, first joining the FTC team, and then eventually joining FRC.
So I was interested in robotics first because of my brother, who's 2 years older than me. But I did take one CS class in my freshman year, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. Nor did I want to join builds because obviously I didn't want to join a team that my brother was on. So I decided to go with business. And so I was interested in business because I'm family friends with the one who kind of founded business, Aspen Harder. And she created business in 2018, so it was relatively new. And I wanted to see what the experience would be like on business.
Have alumni within your team like pursued higher education in STEM, or are you guys planning to?
I don't think we have any alumni on the team. We have mentors that are, from what I know, like in like the workforce, and they come down to kind of like help us. I don't think we have any actual alumni of FRC though, but we do have some alumni that come during like kickoff, for example, at the beginning of every season. People who come down from college, and you know, they'll talk with us about, you know, the game and like help us with strategy and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think we have any alumni.
Yeah, explicitly, I don't think there's any alumni that work as direct mentors for the team. But we do have alumni who come back and help, and alumni who always are open to call for questions and just general advice. I know, especially for programming, I'm sure they send a lot of calls over to some of our recent grads. But last year during one of our practice comps, since it was my first time ever driving the bot, I was having some issues with a bot playing defense on me in the finals, and so I actually went and I called our old driver up and I asked him for advice while I was at the comp in between matches. So our alumni do try and stay involved as much as they can, but they've grown. They've far outgrown what Oakton Cougar Robotics can offer to them, and they've just been set on a good path. They're all doing their thing. So that is our state of alumni.
Yeah. I think the question I was trying to ask was like, have alumni in your team like pursued education in STEM? Like, of course they come back to mentor your team, but like, what are they doing in like college? I think, yeah. Sorry if you misunderstood.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. A lot of, at least the alumni I know, um, at least the ones on the programming team have gone into software and electrical engineering. I'm not sure about build. I'm assuming a lot of them went into like mechanical engineering. Um, but yeah, from what I know, most of the alumni that we've had, at least on programming, have gone into STEM fields for sure. Yeah.
So our alumni, many of them are majoring in computer science and also different sorts of engineering at the University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, George Mason, and State, I think.
Are you guys planning to? Seniors?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning to go into computer science or software engineering. Yeah. Oh,
I'm planning computer engineering as well.
Oh, I'm planning on going into business.
Okay, so those are all the questions from our team. Now it'll be more of like an open floor discussion, and your team can ask me or Mishi any questions about anything.
How did you get the idea to come up with a podcast?
Okay, so basically last year we wanted a way to interact with teams which weren't like near us, or we could talk to face to face. So last year we started our podcast, and we interviewed one international team from the Dominican Republic, and we got like really close with them because we got to like house their robot in our lab when they came to a regional near us. So this year we wanted to expand our like reach within the podcast by starting like a 50 state series, and we wanted to interview like one team from every state, and you guys are representing Virginia. So yeah.
So going back to your global outreach, what are some other ways that you reached out to other countries or other states besides the podcast?
One of our biggest global outreach like things we did was this year, like last summer, we sent out STEM kits to 6 different continents, like India, where else? Colombia, Australia, the Philippines, Mexico, and we sent them like bristle bots, which are like tiny figures they can make, and there's like a manual kit to make them. And some of our members even went to like where their families lived and distributed these kits. So I think that's like our biggest international outreach we did in the past year.
Gotta ask. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
How much support do you get from your school in terms of the entire program as a whole?
I think our school has been like really big supporters of what we do, because our schools like our team's very like our teams within our school, like our labs in our school, so our school does support a lot of what we do, but at the same time our club is really student led. Like our mentors are there, but our students control most of the stuff, and we give it to our school for like approval, and like the funding comes from like funding from the school helps us go to competitions and like worlds and things like that, but like the fundraising we do for our team comes from like our own initiatives.
Yeah, because that's a huge issue that we have here at Oakton. That's probably one of our biggest issues is we don't get a whole lot of help from the school in a lot of cases. So like we don't have dedicated areas where we can really store our equipment and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, in terms of like more specifically on like the build end, where do you guys usually tend to build the robot and store it when you're not like using it directly in the lab?
Yeah, so our lab is like part of our school. But as you said before, anything like motors or anything that the money that we use, it's like we earn that ourselves through our initiatives. But when it comes to like registering for like competitions, traveling, that's more when we get support from the school.
And I don't think we've ever built a robot out of school grounds. Like I think everything was done in our lab.
Yeah.
Where do you guys practice?
So usually our lab is really like this is our lab, this is the hallway, and this is the auditorium. And so let's say we want to practice like the stage this year, or like the amp. Well, like we build all the field elements ourselves, and like one thing at a time, or we'll set like a couple elements up, and we'll just like troubleshoot like back and forth. Like we'll run a couple matches.
And we hold a week 0 event called Regal Eagle Rampage, where we invite teams from all across the tri-state area in Long Island, New York, which is where our school is located, to come and like troubleshoot the robot. So I think that's like a really big event where we get to practice a lot. And this year we're extending it to be 1 week long. So we'll have a whole week of practice before our regionals in March.
Nice.
That's cool.
So I was just wondering, how do you guys fundraise?
A lot of our fundraising is during our off-season. During our off-season events. Okay. Do you guys hear that feedback, or is it just me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of our biggest fundraising events we do in the beginning of the school year is like a movie night. So we hold a movie night in our softball field, and we invite the middle school and elementary school kids to watch and buy tickets. The past year we did like different movies of Spider-Man, and another initiative we do is we do a car wash over the summer. So that raises a lot of money, and we donate like half of our proceeds to like a children's hospital. And this year we made like mini grants for FTC and FRC teams. So we distributed those. So I think those are like our biggest fundraisers. One of those, yeah.
You mean mini what?
Like mini grants. So like we would buy the robot parts for them for like FTC or FRC teams through those mini grants.
That's cool.
Even Regal Eagle Rampage, since we have like the whole field set up, we first of all we sell a lot of food since it's like a 1-day regional almost, so that's what it feels like. So we have like lunch that we sell, and we have like snacks that we sell throughout the day, and each team also registers for the event, so we charge some money from all the teams attending.
So where is this event hosted? You said was it at school or
Yeah, it takes place in our gymnasium.
gymnasium?
And we
So you
built-
guys have a really big gym, huh? Because that sounds like.
It's like just the field, like not the pits.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the
And
pits
the
we
pits
just
are.
yeah.
We have a smaller gyms, like we have like an aux gym, so we put the pits in there. And then if there's more, we like line the corners.
Yeah.
I see. That makes sense.
You also host outreach events at your school?
We've done outreach events within our elementary schools. So one of our initiatives we started was called Engineers Helping Engineers, which is basically where we go to 5th grade classrooms and we teach them like what robotics is all about. And we did like snap circuits with them, and like so like we also volunteer at like STEM nights, and that's how we brought in our increase. Any other questions regarding the robot?
I don't think I have any questions. Do either of you?
No, I think I've asked all the questions that I had.
Okay. So thank you guys so much for coming on. Sorry about like all the timing issues, but thank you for understanding, and good luck for build season, and hopefully see you guys at Worlds.